Oh, hello again. So in this case, I've actually gone back to an earlier return that one of my students prepared, and what I've done is I've removed a lot of the income because we're going to look at a property tax credit. So looking at the ages here, looks like we've definitely got people who are eligible for the property tax credit because of their age, and so I'm going to type in the state information, MO, and you can see that the Missouri 1040 page 1 and page 2 pops up, as well as MO PTS. And so let's say this person lives in Boone, even though it looks like they live in Palmyra. And we're going to come down here. And this question, of course, will be defaulted to yes. And so we've got this MO PTS here. And so we have to look at this and make some decisions. So the computer knows if someone's qualified because they're 65 years of age or older, or 100% disabled. There's some boxes here for 100% disabled veteran and 60 years of age and surviving spouse benefits. So there are some cases where we actually have to make some decisions. That's just a part of the property tax law. So here we have a choice. We can actually check the county or city real estate taxes or the rent. And so let's do rent in this case. And you can see rent is good. We can actually check both. You might be in a situation where maybe you rent the land, but you pay county taxes on your mobile home. And so that would be a case where you'd have both. In this case, we've got, I was going to say rent. In this case, we've got a married filing combined couple. And it looks like they have $200 worth of income, and we know that AGI, and then they're also getting $12,000 in Social Security, and that does count. If they had any pensions not included on line 1, that would go here, but most of them would be. Veterans benefits before any deductions, and SSI and different information would go here. So these are green. You can see we can actually change these amounts here. Everything else really should flow. Now we have to make some choices here. Checkbox if that applies. So 0 if filing status is single or married living separate. So had we chosen single or married living separate, this box would kick in. Otherwise, if you're married filing combined, 2,000 if you rented and did not own, 4,000 if you owned and occupied your home. So these people, we say they rent, so we're going to check the 2,000 box. So there's a $2,000 deduction that kicks in, and then we have to again say if you rented or did not occupy your home, we're going to say you rented. And the limit you can see is a little bit lower for renters. Okay, you can see we chose rent, and so that made this field here red. And so I will link from this field to a Missouri certification of rent paid. And basically, we have to fill out all the red here. So we have to say, are you related to your landlord? Most people know that. Check no for that. Landlord's name and address, and that should be either on a letter that the landlord gives us or their information. So we could say landlord 1, and they're going to want an address. So he lives at 124 Landlord Lane. And again, I would be asking the client for this information. They need to provide that. The phone number, and then how long you live there. Now, what happens if you move? Well, if you move, let's say you move in June, we would go 01/01/2011 to 06/01/2011, and we would actually, create another certification of rent paid for the last half of the year. But to make it simple for this, let's just say they live there the entire year. Enter the rent paid. Pretty simple. Most people are going to live in an apartment or duplex. And if there's additional people sharing the residence and contributing, then we need to mark the appropriate box and go from there. All right, so we said 5,000. 5,000 is our net rent paid. Actually, I'm sorry, shared residence. We need to check the box down here and then choose the amount. In this case, we're just going to make it an apartment. 5,000 is the net rent paid. 20% of that is 1,000, and that's the credit. And so I'm at the CRP. I'm going to go back to the PTS. You can see the 1,000 is kicking in here. Now the max is 750 if you rent, and so 750 flows in here. 750 is here, and on the 1040 page 2, we've got 750. So what if we change it up a little bit, and I'm just going to remove the PTS, and we'll start over. We're going to say county and real estate taxes, married filing combined. So once I clicked off, make that not red. Once I clicked off, you can see we're going to have to answer those same questions. 4,000 because I owned, and then I did own and occupy my home. And then it's still picking up the CRP, so let's remove the CRP to make this a good example. And you can see I have to link to Missouri RET. And this is actually very simple. We just enter basically the information about the real estate tax they paid. So line 1 up here is the county code, so let's just say that's Boone. Number of acres listed on receipt. For us, here in Columbia, that's going to be 0. For elsewhere on the state, it might be 1. It might be more than 1. If it's more than 5, then actually the assessor has to provide a statement of how much the land and 5 acres, or excuse me, how much the house and 5 acres around the house is worth. So let's just leave it at 0. Total real estate taxes paid. If you use the Schedule A, it can roll from there. Otherwise, we can put it here. So let's say it was $1,200. Here we go. If your home or farm has more than 5 acres, enter the percentage from Form MO 948 Assessor Certification. If you own a mobile home, enter the percentage of tax that applies to your mobile home. If part of your home is used for rental or purpose businesses, enter the percentage used as your home. So again, there's lots of tools we can use to kind of adjust this amount. And if we go back to our MO PTS, we can see that 1,200 is flowing through, 1,100 is the max, 1,100 is the property tax credit, and 1,100 is what we have on the Missouri page 2. So we come up here, we're looking at their federal return. They have no need to file a federal return, so we can actually come up here to diagnostics, and no diagnostic errors detected. If we hit e-file, we get a choice. We can do U.S. Federal MEF or Mo State MEF, and I can actually uncheck the U.S. Federal MEF box and just create a e-file for the state. No reason to create a federal if I don't need to, especially if, let's say we look at their return, we remove this form, and then we run diagnostics. There's actually, there's not even a choice to file a federal because the computer knows AGI is 0, refund is 0. No reason to send a federal, so the only choice will be a state modernized e-file. All right, hope that answered any questions you have. If you do have questions, just get a hold of me and we'll take care of them. Thank you very much for watching, and hope it's been a good 8 minutes.